He had 4 seconds left to live, and he spent all 4 of them laughing. The port of Tortuga, 1698. A man named Declan Voss dangles from the gibbet above the harbour square, and every officer of the crown is watching. Good, let them watch. Because what they do not know, what no one in that square can possibly know, is that Voss is not dying. He is transmitting. The laugh, the cough, the spasm of the hanging rope, every twitch a syllable, every gasp a word. The message lasts exactly 12 seconds. The recipient is already gone. And the Empire, watching proudly, has just been told exactly where to send its ships. To the wrong ocean. The Pirate Code was not what history remembers. Not a set of laws, not a charter of conduct. The real code, the one that made empires chase phantoms for 40 years, was a cipher, a living language built by a cartographer named Elias Morrow, who encrypted entire intelligence networks inside sheet music. Our captain, Cormac Fen, holds Morrow's original score right now. He has been holding it for 3 minutes without blinking. The first mate, Sable, sets a mug of rum on the chart table. He does not ask. He already knows. Morrow invented this code in 1681. He was hanged in 1683 by the very admiral who funded his research. The score was never meant to survive, which means someone very powerful spent 15 years making sure it did. Aldric Vane does not enter rooms, he colonizes them. He is dressed like a diplomat and moves like a man who has already won. He crosses the tavern floor as if the crowd parts by agreement, because it does. He sits across from Cormac Fen and places a single item on the table, a wax seal broken in half. It is the other half of Morrow's score. Vane smiles. Fen does not. Here is what Sable sees from 3 chairs away. Vane is left-handed but carries his knife on the right. He arrived 7 minutes before he appeared, and the wax seal on the table is dry. It was broken 2 days ago, not tonight. Vane is not offering a partnership. He is showing Fen how far behind he already is. The Navigator came with the ship. No one hired Ezra Pale, no one interviewed him. When the crew boarded the Veiled Meridian 2 seasons ago, he was simply already there, seated at the bow like a figurehead that had learned to breathe. He asks for no wages, he eats almost nothing, and he knows things that no one has told him. Tonight, Cormac needs him to decode 1 line of Morrow's score. 1 line. Ezra Pale extends his hand and names his price. Not gold. You will tell me, he says, what you are afraid of. Not the sea, not the gallows, the thing you will not say to anyone on this ship. Fen stares at him for 5 full seconds. Name a different price, he says. Ezra deals another card. I just did. Commander Elara Holt did not receive orders to pursue the Veiled Meridian. She gave herself the orders. She has been chasing Cormac Fen for 3 years, through 2 court hearings, 1 formal reprimand, and a personal apology she delivered to an admiral while holding a loaded pistol behind her back. She is not interested in him as a criminal. She is interested in him because of what he knows. What he was told 8 years ago by the very same Declan Voss who just performed his hanging as a cipher, and who, it now emerges, was not a pirate at all. Voss was a Crown agent, and Holt's mission is not to arrest Fen. It is to make sure he never decodes Morrow's score. The fleet moves at half sail, running dark. Holt folds her compass shut. He'll be at the Sargasso Channel by Thursday, she says. We'll be there Wednesday. Here is what the first mate has not said. 3 weeks ago, in the port of Nassau, a man in grey clothes handed Sable an envelope. Sable read it, paid the man double his fare, and told no one. The letter was from Aldric Vane. It was not a threat, it was a warning. And the warning was specific. The second half of Morrow's score, the half Vane produced in the Tavern, is not the original. It is a forgery so precise that it will decode perfectly, deliver a complete and believable answer, and point Cormac Fen to an island that does not exist. Vane wants Fen to waste 6 months sailing to nothing. Sable has been deciding for 3 weeks whether to tell him. Tonight, the two halves are joined for the first time. The first decoded line reads, "The Empire was built on a name it buried." Sable's jaw tightens. He starts to speak. Cormac speaks first. "The storm arrived at 3 in the morning from the wrong direction, and it had a shape. Not metaphorically, the cloud formation above the Sargasso Channel was a perfect spiral, not a hurricane's chaos, but a geometry, as if someone had drawn it. Ezra Pale said before it hit, 'The sea remembers Morrow.' No one had time to ask what that meant because the main mast cracked. Half the crew is overboard, the other half wishes they were, and Cormac Fen is lashed to the wheel with his own belt, steering into the eye of the thing because, and this is the part that'll define the entire voyage, the compass has started working again. It points into the storm, not south, not any cardinal direction, into the exact center of the spiral. Ezra appears beside him, soaked to the bone, serene. 'Well,' says Cormac, 'at least it's not boring. It will get boring after.' The island should not be here. It appears on no Spanish chart, no Dutch survey, no British Admiralty record from any decade of the last 200 years. And yet the stone at the waterline is carved with Morrow's notation, not copied from his score. Older, this notation came first. Morrow did not invent the cipher. He rediscovered it. Cormac stands at the waterline with the original score in his hand, holding it next to the carved wall, and the match is line for line, symbol for symbol, but the wall was carved in the early 1400s. Someone built a cipher language 200 years before the empire it was designed to destroy even existed. That, says Cormac quietly, is either very impressive planning or the worst news I've ever received. Sable arrives behind him. He looks at the wall. He looks at Fen. There's a door, inland. It's open. Someone opened it recently. The chamber beneath the island holds no treasure. It holds worse. It is a complete record. Names, dates, transactions, correspondence of every act of piracy, every slave shipment, every fabricated war and manufactured famine carried out under license by the British Crown between 1601 and 1698. Not rumor, not accusation, receipts signed. Morrow was not a cartographer who moonlighted as a cryptographer. He was an archivist. He spent 12 years assembling proof that the Empire was the largest criminal enterprise in the Atlantic, and then built an entire coded language to protect it. The ledger at the center bears the seal of someone very much alive. Someone whose name Cormac Fen knows personally. He does not say it aloud. He closes the ledger. He sits down on the stone floor. From somewhere above them, very faint, comes the sound of a cannon being loaded.
She came alone. That is either extraordinary confidence or extraordinary desperation. And Cormac Fen, who has known Elara Holt since before either of them deserved to, cannot tell which. She looks at the ledger. She does not look surprised. "I've known about this chamber for 2 years," she says. "I've been trying to reach it before you did. And now we're both here, says Fen. And now we're both here. She sits on the stone across from him. The seal on the ledger belongs to Lord Castle, who is presently the First Sea Lord, who signs every warrant, every commission, including mine. A tense pause. She opens her coat. No weapons. What she produces instead is a fourth lock, one she carries on a chain that fits the ledger's final seal. I want to open it, together, and then I want you to disappear. And what do you want to do? Asks Fen. She doesn't answer immediately. That is her answer.
Aldric Vane arrives at dawn with 12 men and the expression of someone arriving at a dinner he personally arranged. He has timed this perfectly. He has timed everything perfectly. The forged half of the score. The storm, yes, the storm, Ezra confirms this without being asked, without inflection, as if it were unremarkable. The storm was seeded. Old knowledge, old instruments, old debt. Vane reaches the chamber to find it empty. Not the ledger pages. Those were removed. Not by Fen, not by Holt, by Sable. The first mate, who spent 3 weeks deciding whether to protect his captain, has, at the final possible moment, done something far more dangerous. He has acted unilaterally. He stands at the tree line with the pages folded inside his coat, watching Vane's face go from elegant to architectural. That particular blankness that precedes violence. "He didn't tell you," Vane calls up to Sable. His voice is pleasant. Did he? It is not a question. Here is what Cormac Fen is afraid of. Not death, not capture, not the gallows or the sea or the silence. He is afraid that Morrow's cipher was meant for him. 8 years ago, Cormac Fen was a Crown officer, not a pirate, a surveyor commissioned to find and catalogue unmapped Atlantic islands. He found this one. He filed a report. He received a promotion. 3 weeks later, Elias Morrow was hanged. Fen did not make the connection until last year, did not let himself, because making the connection means accepting that his survey report, filed in good faith, filed professionally, filed by a young man who believed in the work, handed Morrow's location to the men who killed him. The compass belonged to Morrow. Fen took it from the inventory of a hanged man's effects. He has carried it every day since, not as a trophy, as a debt. Below him, Sable is still standing, still holding the pages. Cormac has to decide what kind of captain he is. "I know," says Sable. Cormac stops. "I've known for 8 months about the survey, about Morrow." Sable looks out at the water, not at him. "I was waiting to see if you'd say it." 3 years of reading people correctly, and the thing he was reading was always his captain. Vane told me. He thought it would make me turn. It had the opposite effect. I don't know why I'm the last person to understand that. A pause. The pages go to Holt, not you, not Vane. Fen starts to argue. Below them, Vane's first mate crests the cliff edge. And then, Commander Elara Holt appears on the southern path with 6 Marines and the expression of someone who has been running a different operation from the very beginning. Not suppressing Morrow's ledger, but waiting for someone to open it with her. The 3 of them, Captain, First Mate, Pursuer, form a triangle on the clifftop for exactly 4 seconds. Then the shooting starts. The cannon fire is Holt's. Turns out she was never working for Cassell. She was the evidence collector. 3rd position, long game, entirely unauthorized by anyone living. She is also, right now, the only reason Vane's reinforcements aren't on the cliff, which leaves Cormac and Aldric Vane on a ledge approximately 2 feet wide above 60 feet of open Atlantic with 1 sword each and no room for elegance. Vane is better. He has always been better. He's faster and more precise, and he trained under men who trained under men who trained under men. Cormac knows this, so he does the only thing that works against a perfect duelist. He fights terribly on purpose, Wildly, dangerously wrong, the kind of swordsmanship that creates openings no sane opponent would take. Vane takes one, and Cormac, for once in his life at exactly the right moment, is exactly where he planned to be. Vane goes into the water. The compass goes with him.
Aldric Vane surfaces. Of course he does. Men like Vane do not drown in ways anyone can see. He pulls himself onto a reef 200 yards south and sits there until one of Holt's Marines retrieves him, and everyone agrees, quietly, not to address what just happened on the cliff. The ledger pages go with Holt. She has a name in the Admiralty, not Castle, someone above Castle who will know what to do with evidence like this, or pretend to. Sable asks Cormac if he believes that. "No," says Cormac, "but it's the best available option, and I'm old enough to know that's most of what life is." The island disappears astern. The compass, Morrow's compass, the debt Fen carried for 8 years, is somewhere in 60 feet of water. He does not dive for it. Ezra Pale appears beside him, dealing a card from nowhere. "You'll want to know that Morrow had a daughter," Ezra says. Cormac stares at the empty water for a long time. He does not ask where she is. He already knows he'll find out.